In this video, we'll prepare a full week 2 cash lineup on the main slate on Yahoo, and it's coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee with the Fantasy Football Consultants. I recently said in an interview that our FFC community has more of an impact than they think on our content. And here's proof. Due to these 6 people expressly stating in the comment section on YouTube how much they appreciate that we're doing Yahoo content, boom, here is a bonus show, week 2 on the main slate on Yahoo. Now, I want to level with you guys. Based on our YouTube analytics, we can see exactly how many new subscribers we get from each video. And we can see how many people are subscribed and how many aren't who are watching our videos. Now, over half of the people who watched our week 1 Yahoo video are not subscribed. So if you want to see a week 3 Yahoo video or future videos, here is my challenge. If you have not subscribed and you're watching this video, right now, click the red subscriber button. And if you're a subscriber, please find one other person that you think would like content on Yahoo, share our video with them, and get them to subscribe. Based on how many new subscribers, even if our views are lower than DraftKings and FanDuel videos, if we get a significant number of subscribers, then we'll continue on a bonus coverage of Yahoo. All right, let's get into week 2. All right, we're on the main slate of Yahoo, and I've already made my first 2 selections, Carson Wentz and Antonio Gibson. And you guys can guess the reasons why. I think that this game is going to be a shootout. Probably of all the teams to attack in NFL DFS, Detroit is the best because not only did their defense probably the worst in the NFL, they gave up the most points last year, and they got off to a pretty bad start in week 1, giving up, I think, 38 points to Philadelphia. So I think Washington is going to be going to put points on the board, and it's going to come through either Carson Wentz or Antonio Gibson. In fact, I could actually get both because Antonio Gibson gets so involved in the passing game. So let's talk a little bit of history. It always was last year that Antonio Gibson was the guy who was the primary running back, and J.D. McKissic was the pass catching back. But in the offseason, they drafted Brian Johnson, and the plan was for Brian Johnson to eat into Antonio Gibson's carries. But they did not want to phase Antonio Gibson completely out. After all, he had a background in college of being a wide receiver, so he can catch passes. So they were going to expand his pass catching role. Well, fast forward to the fact that Brian Johnson unfortunately had a situation where he got shot. So he's going to be out for several weeks. So all of a sudden, Antonio Gibson retains his role as the primary ball carrier, but he's still going to get involved, obviously, in the passing game. So great script here for Antonio Gibson. And Carson Wentz, I mean, no, I did not expect him to do what he did last week, 313 yards and 4 TDs. But going against Detroit, I wouldn't be surprised that he doesn't get somewhat close to that. And look, I only spend $40 on 2 guys where I believe I'm going to get a nice floor. So where do I want to go from here? Well, I'm going to continue to save money on Yahoo. There are some really nice bargains you can pick up on Yahoo. And look, before I reveal my pick, let me tell you something about him. He is the primary back on one of the highest scoring games of the slate, and they're favored. So look at this. So let me scroll down. Look at this. Can you imagine? I'm still scrolling down. 20, 19, 18, 17, all the way down to $16. The bargain that is Josh Jacobs. Now, you say he only had 10 carries, but he had 10 of the 13 running back carries. And they played that game almost completely from behind against the Chargers. Here, they're home and they're favored. So hopefully the game script will be better in Josh Jacobs' format. So, and they just didn't throw very much to their running backs. Devonta Adams just took a huge role. But guess what, folks? I expect Devonta Adams. Teams are going to start double coverage, double teaming him. So I think it's going to leave more opportunities for dump offs and short passes. Now, the good news is no one ran more routes than Josh Jacobs. He actually ran more routes than Abdullah and Bolden combined. Guess what? How about blowing the budget and spending some money? And man, really hard not to appreciate Cooper Kupp. And even though he is $40, the maximum, because of our bargains that we have done so far and that we will do later, we can afford Cooper Kupp in our lineup. How good is this guy? I think he is just so important for a cash game because he provides an unbelievably high floor. Do you know that in the last 22 Ram games, he has 14 games where he's reached over 100 yards? That's incredible. He has more 100-yard games in the last 22 games than Tyler Lockett, Stephon Diggs, and A.J. Brown combined. So pretty impressive. I love the fact that we were able to fit in Cooper Kupp in this lineup. All right. One of the reasons we're going to fit Cooper Kupp in is because this is just absurd. Yahoo is absolutely giving away at only $13 Julio Jones. So I have to give the caveat. Julio Jones is in fact listed as questionable. So he has missed the second state practice, and it goes along with all these wide receivers on Tampa Bay are so banged up. Chris Godwin has a hamstring issue. He is definitely going to be out. And Mike Evans has a calf issue. So it just is going to provide lots of opportunity for Julio Jones if, in fact, he plays. He's going up against New Orleans. And if Mike Evans and he plays, you can bet that Marshawn Lattimore will shadow Mike Evans, which will provide even more opportunity for Julio Jones. So here's the bottom line. If Jones is going to play, I love him for $13, but you got to watch the news. All right. My last wide receiver, I think at a pretty big bargain, but I'm going to spend some money. But based on what he can do at $27, let's get Debo Samuels in the lineup. Well, folks, we always wondered what was going to happen with Debo Samuels and the backfield. That's the key to making him so valuable. And would the fact they went from Garoppolo to Trey Lance going to stop him from getting a lot of carries? Answer, early returns, is no. He got 8 carries for 50 yards. What's so valuable of that, and by the way, a rushing touchdown. What's so valuable about that is usually he's getting these carries in the red zone. So really high value carries where he increases the likelihood that he could get a rushing touchdown. Now, he didn't do much in the air, only 2 catches for 14 yards. But I think that's more of a representation on the horrible playing conditions in Chicago. It was like a swamp. So neither team was being very effective in passing the ball. So I expect that he's going to get more than 2 receptions against the Seattle defense at home in San Francisco. I live in the Bay Area, so I do want to tell you it looks like it's going to rain, but I can't believe that it'll be the downpour that it was in Chicago. All right. Where do we want to go from here? Let's again save money at tight end. Let's hope for a better result than we got from Cole Kmet last week by saving money. I think we will here. I think this guy's floor is very high given his price at $12. Pat Fairmouth. Don't go crazy. 5 catches for 75 yards is great, but do understand that this game went into overtime, and I do think he got some catches in overtime. But the reality is no one was targeted more than Freiermuth other than Deontay Johnson in week 1. And we expect that. Deontay Johnson will always be the most targeted guy on Pittsburgh. So with $12, being at home and favored against New England, I like it. All right. We got 2 more players left, and we've got $52 left to spend. So you guys know what route we're going to take. We're going to save money at defense so we can pay up at flex. So let's do it. At $38, I can get Jonathan Taylor. The Jonathan Taylor, who's everybody knows is the most valuable fantasy commodity in season long. So in DFS, you got to ask yourself, but what about his matchup this week? And there's nothing wrong with his matchup this week. He faces the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're favored. They have a below average rush defense. What did he do last week? Just 161 yards rushing and a TD, plus a bunch of receptions. At only $14, this is the second week on Yahoo. We're going to pick on the New York Jets. You got that right. We've got a team in Cleveland who is at home facing the New York Jets and their backup quarterback, once again, Joe Flacco. The old man, Joe Flacco, could only get 7 points in his revenge game against Baltimore. So game script, Cleveland is going to get up on the Jets and force the Jets into passing and potentially some mistakes. Be sure to check out our cash game and GPP lineups on DraftKings and FanDuel. Those videos are on the screen as we speak. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time.